The spring market is here. Who is winning, the buyers or the sellers, as things are heating up? Hey everybody, it is Alyson Wall, your real estate strategist and realtor for the South Denver area. Let's dive right into the March numbers. We had 4,700 new listings. That is up 550 from the month before. That puts us up 13% month over month and up 16% year over year for new listings. We saw 3,300 homes go under contract. That is 400 more than the previous month. That puts us up 14% month over month and up 10% year over year. We had 2,600 closings. That is up 400 from the previous month. That is up a whopping 20% month over month, but is down 9% year over year. Weeks of inventory dropped by a week. We're down to 3.25 months of inventory in the Denver market. And the average days on market dropped by 5 to 56. And the median days on market dropped by 15 all the way down to 31. All right, on to those home prices. The average close price for all homes was $689,000. That's an increase of $21,000 month over month and 3% month over month. The year over year change came in, same thing, 3%. The single family home price average went up $16,000 to $766,000. That's a month over month increase of 2% and a year over year change of 3%. On the average, condos and townhomes are on an upward swing, $11,000 up month over month to $448,000. That's a 2.5% positive change month over month, just a 0.5% change year over year. Okay, on to those median prices. The median sold price of all homes in the Denver metro area came in at $595,000, up $23,000. That's a positive 4% change month over month and year over year up 3.5%. The median price for single family homes is coming in at $640,000, up just $10,000 month over month. That's up 1.5% month over month and up 2% year over year. On the median, condos and townhomes are down. They're coming in at $395,000, down $4,000 month over month. That's a negative 1% change for the month and flat year over year. Last, as to be expected since we are in spring, the list price to sales price ratio is moving up. We have gone up about 1.5% to 96.8. All right, take in all the numbers. What are the takeaways? Well, since we talk about condos and townhomes a fair amount because of their volatility, let's quickly touch on that one. With the average being up and the median being down/flat, it just means we're selling some more expensive condos and townhomes on average. But when we look at the median, we're really not budging there much. So they just continue to show some volatility in the marketplace. Now, what can we say about this market overall? Well, it is an interesting one. Prices are up on average. More homes are going under contract on average. We're seeing a positive trajectory for homes selling. Now, year over year, we're still down, but we are in a positive trajectory for this year. Our total inventory in our market is increasing, but unlike last month where inventory was far outpacing buyer demand, that did not happen this month. We've had an increase in inventory, but buyers did come in and eat up some of that because we saw that 1 week decrease in month ending inventory. That means buyers were chewing up a lot of what sellers were putting in. This spring market is not allowing itself to be labeled a seller's market or a buyer's market. Let me share this data with you. I think it will really give some good insight into our market and why it is such an interesting one right now. What you're looking at is called our odds of selling data. There is some other stuff here on the side of the screen too. You can actually see the existing inventory at the time that matches up to the odds of selling. So this is the 2024 odds of selling from about January to April here on the screen. So when you're looking at that first column, you are seeing all red. Red is a good sign, shows positive numbers, and we're seeing numbers in the 50%, pushing up to 60%, and that cranked up by February. We were in the 40s in January of 2024, we were in the 50s by February, and it just kept going, and it rocked through April. And if you see the inventory that we had, we were hovering in maybe 4,000 homes for sale. I mean, it was not much. So as buyers were in the market, they were pushing on that inventory, sellers really had very strong odds of selling. Now, we flip to where we are so far this year, because we pull this data every single week. We do not look so red. We do not look so hot. In fact, the numbers aren't really anywhere close. We aren't even getting to 50 yet. And our inventory is nearly double where we were this time last year. So with more homes on the market, more homes are selling, but sellers have a lot more competition to get their home moved off the market. Look at this chart. I think you're gonna like this one too. This is total showings. This chart shows how many showings are happening in the overall market. This is a long graph, so we are looking at that tail end. And it tells us how many showings are happening per listing, as well as in that overall market. And both are lower now than they were this time last year. That tells us that while we do have buyers in the market, we have fewer buyers pushing into the market, and those buyers are spread out over more listings. They are seeing fewer houses. We have fewer showings per listing, again, putting pressure on the sellers on how they're gonna get their house off the market. All of this data points to the fact that we have a less competitive market. It's not a buyer's market fully, because we don't have an odds of selling number that is hovering in the 30s, 33, 32, 22. But it is not a seller's market because we are not staunchly in the 60s. So it is a little bit of a buyer's market, a little bit of a seller's market, and it really depends on how the house is positioned. The data continues to come out that buyers are willing to be aggressive on homes that are easy, move-in ready, remodeled, in a great location. They are spending all of their time, effort, money, energy on going to work and paying the bills, so they don't have a lot left over to come in and deal with a fixer, deal with a house that wasn't handled really well, that has a lot of maintenance, where the furnace is old, where there's extra money to put in after the fact. That used to be a thing. In the early days of HGTV, people wanted to come in and put their fingerprint on a house. They really don't anymore. And sellers, the other thing to know is that having that gorgeous house and not pricing it at a premium when there is so much extra inventory. I'm not saying to shortchange yourself, but so many buyers have been in the market and watching it for a long time. A lot of buyers checked out of the market around last August and have been watching and watching and watching. So they already know what is premium in their price window. And if they have a box here and their buy box is down here and you priced it up here, they're not going to bite. They're going to wait for you to come down toward their buy box. So you want to be aiming toward the center. You want to be as close to as many people's buy box as you can be, instead of saying, I'm going to start here and come down. Because as you do that, people just wait and wait and wait. In fact, I actually met with some clients of mine who were going to sell their property in a couple of weeks, and we were comping it out, and they're actually going to be the first in their neighborhood to go to market. It's a newer community, brand new sales or brand new homes. And we found an expired listing, and I've been reaching out to that agent and chatting with them. But when that expired listing came to market, they priced too high, and within a week they did their first price cut. Then 10 days later they did their next one. A week later they did their next, and they literally every week did a price cut. That house never moved. Why? Because to anyone that was watching it, it was like, well, how low are they going to go? It was like The Price is Right, the little yodeling guy that goes up, but backwards, and just watching and watching and watching. And it just fell off the market because they kept going like a game show. Cut, 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 cut. You don't want to be that property. Our inventory right now, we have 3.25 months of inventory. This time last year, we had 1.7 months of inventory, and we had just sliced 3 weeks of inventory out of it from the previous month. So we came into March out of February with less than 2 months of inventory, and we had eaten up 3 weeks from January. So it was such a fast-paced market. And we are coming into March having just nibbled away 1 week of inventory, which is good because we added a whole month coming into 2025, but the pace is just different. And while we have taken off quite a bit in our days on market and our median days on market now, we are still seeing that we were a faster market last year. We were 9 days faster on the average and a week faster on the median. And it all has to do with inventory. Having almost twice as much inventory today than we did last year just changes the whole dynamic. Sellers, the good news for you in all this, home prices are up. The amount of concessions that sellers are giving has not changed. You are not giving more concessions to get the buyer to come to you. Rates have started to decline. This is great news everywhere. As we see the rates start to do their trickle downward, it pushes buyers into the market, it encourages them, it creates a hotter market, and that is great for everyone. We want to see buyers getting a more positive rate on their home. It gives them just so much more leverage, and at this time of year in the spring when sellers want to be active in the market, when it ties in with the school transfers and getting situated in the summer for the next school year, it's a win-win all the way around. And sellers, if you priced your home well, showcase it well, clean it like there is no other place you can eat, not even on a plate, like you have to eat off your floor, it will move quickly. So last year, our market pretty much died off come the start of May. This year, as you can tell by the data I just showed you, we are off to a slower start. We have more inventory. The rate story is totally different from last year's rate story. So what do you think? Do you think we're kind of a slow moving train and we're just getting started and our market will last longer? I am curious your thoughts. I kind of think that's going to be the story. I'd love to hear what you think. And if you would love to talk more about the market, get strategic about selling or buying here in Denver, please reach out. You know, it is always a delight for me to connect with you, and I will see y'all next week.